Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked on Rockies podcast. I am your host, Paul Holden, and this lovely podcast is part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is also brought to you by the Locked on MLB podcast, and you can join Paul Francis Sullivan, please call him Sully, every day on Locked on MLB for a unique look at the majors, both present and past, featuring exciting guest interviews, routine check-ins from the Locked on MLB Network's team of local experts, and insightful analysis of the day's biggest stories. Locked on MLB is the single best source for daily baseball talk. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. Today, it's an all-star game theme where I'll talk about my hopes for the Home Run Derby, my thoughts on the newly released all-star game jerseys, ask if Ryan McMahon is an all-star. Plus, I'll recap a fun couple of days at the ballpark yesterday, especially. Let's dive into some game notes for the Rockies, splitting the series on the road this past couple of days here in Seattle, well, at least here in Seattle where I'm at. And I got to watch both games. First time I've got to see the Rockies in person since 2019. Big moment for me. Beautiful couple of days. I had great seats. Being back at the ballpark was absolutely incredible, and two really great games in two different ways. Unfortunately, the Rockies not able to pull off the victory in game one, but Kyle Freeland looked great. The starting pitching in Seattle was incredible. They took advantage of a team that struggles hitting at home, the exact opposite of the Rockies. We all know how many, at least on the internet, how many jokes are that how similar of the Rockies and Mariners are, but there are a lot of similarities, but kind of opposites in the way. The Mariners much better on the road and can hit on the road. The Rockies not so much, and but can hit at home, whereas the Mariners can't hit at home and have been no hit at home. The offense came alive via the long ball yesterday. It was all about the home runs for the Rockies offense there in the second game of the series, and the person doing the most damage offensively yesterday was Trevor Story, and boy, was that great to watch. Trevor Story, been the big storyline of the Rockies this year. A lot of talk about the future of Trevor Story, what he does, his performance this year. He has looked great lately. He has looked absolutely incredible. Very sharp. His swing looks good. He's swinging at the right pitches and he's driving them. I mean, both of those home runs yesterday were crushed. My roommate says one just kind of squeaked over the fence there in center, but that's still dead center. Basically, it was right center, but that was a shot over 420 feet, I think, there, and then an absolute laser for his first home run there. That ball was smoked. That ball got out of the park in a hurry and was loud. The ball had a nice crisp noise at the ballpark yesterday, and you just knew when Trevor hit both of those balls that they had a chance. Same with Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers has again proven that he needs to be in the lineup every day. He's showing that he can be the guy. He is showing that he can play baseball at the major league level, not just play baseball at the major league level, but succeed at playing baseball at the major league level, especially in a year that's been so dominated by pitching. He really roped that ball and has looked great lately and doing good things. He's still young. There's still things to work on, sure, but you're not going to be upset with the way that Brendan Rodgers is performing, especially if this Ryan McMahon stuff is a little bit more worrisome than we think. For those that might not be aware, McMahon was left out of the lineups there in Seattle due to I believe it was just some soreness in the right forearm. Soreness, not tightness. It was just a soreness that was kind of inflamed, and they were trying to give him the couple of days to cool it off there in Seattle. I think especially with the fact that they had the DH and they can implement another bat that way. So they decided to give McMahon the time to get that arm under control before heading out to Milwaukee, where you have a longer set that you kind of need Ryan McMahon to be available for as the Rockies look to get closer and closer to 10 wins on the road. This was the first series the Rockies have not lost on the road so far this year. Now, that doesn't mean they won. A tie is a tie, sure, but with the way that the things have gone for the Rockies on the road, you'll take a tie at this point, and you'll especially take a game where the Rockies score multiple runs. However, they had a lot of chances yesterday to blow that game open, and they didn't. They had a lot of chances with runners in scoring position with 0 to 1 out, just weren't getting the big hits in those situations. I mean, fortunately, they were able to use the home run and take advantage there on a couple of occasions. But the Rockies really could have put it to the Mariners yesterday early and really given Germán even more confidence. Not like he needed it. Honestly, that was the big story. I can't believe it took me this long to get to this, but the Rockies performing well on the road, especially offensively, is kind of headline news here. But almost as important, if not more important, Germán Marquez looked incredible, nearly perfect, cruising against the Seattle Mariners. There was I don't know. My heart was racing there because I'm not gonna lie, I was getting caught up because the way he was going, the way the Mariners looked against Germán there, he was cruising. He really looked great, and it was just something that you love to see. And you absolutely are thrilled by. Germán Marquez rules. I'm a big fan of Germán. I think he is the for sure ace of the Rockies. I know we've seen some tough starts from him this year, but then when he does stuff like this, he's absolutely electric. I mean, if you haven't seen the Pitching Ninja tweets with the edits of one of his strikeouts late in the game there, I believe it was against I think it was Shedlong Jr. It might have been where he strikes out and then he buckles over and falls over. Germán just made him look absolutely silly, and that's just when you know his stuff is working. His breaking stuff was great. His payoff stuff was absolutely working. He has again shown that he is the Rockies ace, and it's awesome. I don't know. I just get happy. It's so nice to see Rockies have good starting pitching. Unfortunately, the bullpen a little shaky there as we got into things, and you just want to be able to come. There was too much drama at the end of the game. There was just too much action on the bases. There's just too much going on, too much that got in the way of an otherwise really, really great day at the ballpark for the Rockies. That's just clear with the Rockies' road struggles and offensive struggles. Those are definitely big, but it's still, to me, the big question mark for the Rockies is the bullpen. The Rockies need to do something to address the bullpen in however they approach the trade deadline with the pieces they are looking to move or not to move. Whatever the Rockies' plan is, it needs to involve the bullpen, because the last thing we wanted was Germán's awesome day to be spoiled by a bullpen performance that you could see coming, because it is possible with the pieces that we've seen it. We've seen the Rockies lose multi-run leads late, and that just shows. Anyway, but. Had a little audio pop up there. Anyway, the Rockies looked good in Seattle. The offense, not so much in the first game, but you take away Kyle Freeland looking absolutely great in game one. Bummer loss, but it was a tough one. They had chances to win in their quick game. Game one there. We were in and out of the ballpark there pretty quickly. But above all, a split series in Seattle, you take that. You take a great performance from the starters there in both games, especially Germán. I was really hoping we got to see some history, but he looked incredible. He has really done well in 4 out of his last 5 starts. The Cincy start, not so much, but his other starts, he's really looked sharp. And the Rockies will see if they can do some more damage against the Brewers, splitting the series there at Coors Field. We'll see what happens when they head to Milwaukee for the weekend. I don't know. I'm getting some NLDS vibes here in terms of Rockies' offensive performance there in Milwaukee, but we shall see how it goes. And kind of with every road game, you just kind of take it one at a time and see if the Rockies can surprise themselves, or surprise us, I should say, not surprise themselves. They know themselves better than we do, but surprise us and keep working their way back to a better road record, because if they can perform better on the road, this Rockies team actually makes a little bit of noise, and it is relatively interesting, but more interesting to see what they're going to do here with the coming months, as the front office situation is not great. The All-Star deadline, or the trade deadline, is right around the corner, and there's a lot of question marks with the Rockies. But all in all, with everything that goes on with the Rockies, with everything that's happened this year, I had an absolute blast watching the team play the last 2 days in person. It reminds me why I like, I love the team, and I love baseball, and love being a part of Rockies baseball. It was a great time. And lot of fans. Actually, there were a lot of I think there was a lot of family in attendance. I think we saw Garrett Hampson's family. Actually, Nolan's cousin and Josh's cousin, Joshua, I should say, also said hi to us too. It was super cool. There were a lot of Rockies fans at the park. It was just so fun to be back watching Rockies baseball live once again. So, if you haven't gotten out there, you want to go watch some baseball, why not? Go have some fun. But boy, beware wary of the weather coming up. It's going to be a absolute scorcher, I'm pretty sure, everywhere. But anyway, that's kind of the game notes from the series with Seattle. And I got lots to say about the home run derby, especially the thing I'm most excited about the All-Star game this year. But before we get to that, stonks, memes, rocket ships, day trading can be a lot of fun. But if you want to grow your long-term wealth and make it to the moon, you should open up a Wealthfront investment account today. Investing can be complicated, but whether you're a beginner or you've been investing for years, Wealthfront makes it easy. They have the right tools for every portfolio. Wealthfront can create a portfolio of globally diversified, low-cost index funds personalized just for you in minutes. Wealthfront is trusted with over $20 billion of assets, and you can get your first $5,000 managed for free by going to wealthfront.com/lockedonmlb. All you need is $500 to get started. Grow your wealth the easy way and let Wealthfront do the work for you. To get your first $5,000 managed for free for life, go to wealthfront.com/lockedonmlb. That's wealthfront.com/lockedonmlb to start growing your savings. Go to wealthfront.com/lockedonmlb and get started today. The All-Star Game, of course, is at Coors Field this year. Very exciting times for Denver. And I am more excited about the Home Run Derby. I think it's going to be the highlight of the weekend. Maybe that's because I'm blocking out the image of a certain third baseman playing in a different uniform, even though they're all going to be wearing the All-Star Game uniforms instead of the really cool tradition of wearing their own uniforms in the game. I guess I'll start there. I'll start with the negatives. Don't like the jerseys. Don't like the jerseys at all. But I'm not going to dive too much into it. There's already enough out online about all the All-Star Game jersey stuff. With everything that's happened with the All-Star Game this year, with all the changes, with the quick flip, with all of that stuff, you kind of expect something like this to happen. There was probably a direction that they wanted to go, and then everything changed, and then they couldn't, and then they had to work with what they had. It was a very quick turnaround. So, to be totally honest, not going to get too caught up in the jerseys. Don't love them. I don't like the fact that they're not wearing their team's jerseys on the field for the All-Star Game. That's really what I have beef with, no matter what the jerseys are. The All-Star Game jerseys are just, more stuff for people to buy and cool stuff for us to look at, and it's just a fun part of sports. But in reality, I think it's cool. I think it's fun in baseball with everyone wearing their different jerseys. I think that's kind of part of what makes the All-Star Game the All-Star Game, because I don't really like it when they're matching the jerseys. I think there's something unique and cool about seeing players from every team, and there's so many players in baseball, obviously, wearing the jerseys. I just think it's a cool part of the game. But it's also the All-Star Game. It's supposed to be about fun. It's supposed to be about celebrating the players. I'm not going to get too, now that the All-Star Game has no home field advantage in the World Series type thing, it's just the All-Star Game. It's just be fun. I mean, I don't know. I don't get too caught up in it. But Home Run Derby, cannot wait. Home Run Derby is going to be awesome this year. Bummed, Vlad Jr., man, was really hoping for that. But it makes sense. I mean, there is all the stuff that goes around the Home Run Derby and the mentalities of players and the approach to the game and what it does to things like that. Can't argue with that. That makes total sense to me. I mean, especially when the Jays are trying to do something. He's trying to stay competitive. He's getting into, trying to put the rookie stuff behind him and really, keep building on already what is a great foundation. I mean, Vlad Jr. rules. So it would be great to have had him there. But the big name that I wanted already confirmed. Shohei Ohtani hitting balls at Coors Field in the Home Run Derby. I cannot wait. The most fun thing in baseball, the most fun storyline in baseball. I think the most fun person in baseball this year has been Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's going to pitch maybe too. Wouldn't that be? He's going to he'll hit in the Home Run Derby and maybe he'll pitch. I mean, come on. That's the All-Star Game right there. I mean, that is an All-Star. I mean, Shohei, he's gonna. And there, I heard stories of him hitting batting practice home runs to the moon. I think he's just gonna make for an absolute delight there at the Derby, and it's going to be a great competition here, because I think you got to go and get Tatis or Acuna. You have to get one of them in there to see what they do. Great news that that Alonso's coming back there to defend the crown. He's going to be great for that. Hopefully he, I mean, should be building back up to swing in, but maybe the Derby for him will be good to get extra hacks after being on the IL there for the Mets. But you got to get a Tatis or an Acuna. I'm hoping it's Tatis. I hope he continues to, kind of keep the spotlight going that he developed for himself with being the cover athlete of the show, and just being the person at the forefront of the bat flip revolution. One of the people, I should say. There's been a lot of people flipping bats for a long time, but Tatis has been up there too, and he would be absolutely a blast to watch during the home run derby. I mean, there's just so many great options. And of course, when we're going a big name, you got to bring in one of these big names. Stanton, Judge, or Harper have to be in the home run derby. They have to be. There's just no way that one of them doesn't come and just hit moon balls. Maybe I haven't followed the Yankees too closely this year, so I don't necessarily. I know they've struggled. I don't necessarily know the health status of Judge and Stanton, because that seems to be a storyline with them quite a bit. But you want to see one of those three. I know that we've seen them before. They're the bigger names and all that stuff, but you want them. You want them because those dudes hit. You want the people that have the potential to hit baseballs into the stratosphere, because, yes, I don't want to always buy into it, but this is the home run derby we're talking about at Coors Field. Yes, take advantage of the Coors Field part of it, and let's get people that hit the ball into oblivion. That's why, for me, we got to get a Rockies rep in. And a lot of people probably would say that it should be Ryan McMahon this year. And that is not the case. He hasn't hit a lot this year, but maybe it helps. We need Trevor Story as the Rockies representative in the home run derby. He needs to be there because you all have watched Trevor Story. When that dude connects with a baseball, he destroys it. He's heating up. This would be maybe a good thing to get him a little bit more of a home run swing. I don't know. I'm not a big swing analyst. I don't know what the home run derby would necessarily do, but it might build some confidence. But if I was to go down the Rockies roster and pick who I wanted from the Rockies roster in the home run derby, you end up with Charlie Blackmon, Trevor Story, and Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon has the most home runs this year, but as much as I love Ryan McMahon, and as much as he's a great hitter, and as much as he can put it on, Trevor Story is the home. I mean, that's been his whole thing in Colorado. If we're going to only have him for a little while longer, if he's going to be traded, or if he's going to walk at the end of the season, whatever the front office decides to do, this, I think, would be something Rockies fans would cherish. Would Trevor Story winning the home run derby at Coors Field not be a rad way to make Trevor Story feel a little bit better about being, the rep of the Rockies, feel it repping the purple, maybe on the slight chance just reminds him why he likes the place and he can keep him there. That's wishful thinking. But I think for Rockies fans, we would be treated to something awesome if Trevor Story was in the home run derby and succeeded in the home run derby, because that's what we know Trevor Story as, the should be Gold Glove shortstop that can hit baseballs to Mars. And that's what I want from the home run derby. I just want anyone that can just hit baseballs into the stratosphere. And I know there's probably a ton of players I've missed, and I'm just kind of going off of the ones I've seen. And, but I think for me, a really cool storyline, pun intended, is Trevor Story is in the home run derby for the Colorado Rockies, if he's not traded by then. But he should still wear a Rockies jersey, because they're going to, Nolan has to wear one too. I made that rule up. Nolan has to put on a Rockies uniform as the All-Star, and same when he comes and plays as a Cardinal. Not allowed to wear a different uniform in Coors Field. They can play the Cardinals on the road. He just has to wear a Rockies uniform. He can play, he can bat for him or whatever, but he still has to wear a Rockies uniform. Kind of like in Little League when the other team was down a player and you sent one over there, and you played for the other team. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Still bitter. The All-Star game makes me a little bit more bitter, but that's all right. It's getting easier. And super excited for the All-Star game being in Colorado. Wish it had a little bit more time for planning and, with everything that goes along with that. But the Home Run Derby is going to be the star of the weekend. I am for sure about that. I'm very, very confident in that. And I cannot wait for the Home Run Derby and whoever participates. But let's get Trevor Story in there. We know that for me, that is really what I want. I think it would be really, really fun. And I think it'd be really, really cool. I don't know if you have to pass a certain threshold of home runs, but if people criticize Trevor Story being in the Home Run Derby for his home run numbers this year, they just clearly have not watched Trevor Story play baseball any other time ever. So can't wait for the All-Star game. So close so crazy that it is so close, but we'll see. Who do you all want in the Home Run Derby? Oh, this will be up today on Thursday. It's your last Thursday, June 24th. It's your last day to vote for players for the All-Star game. So be sure to get out and vote for your favorite Rocky. If you think Rockies players deserve to be in the All-Star game, there's a great couple of cases in there. I'm putting my votes behind Ryan McMahon and Raimel Tapia, and I'm giving Trevor Story votes for veteran status because I'm also a fan, and that's what we get for having fans vote. So you know what? I'm going to take advantage of it. But don't forget, get your votes in for the All-Star game today, June 24th, last day to do it. All right. Speaking of All-Star voting, we're going to talk a little bit more about Ryan McMahon. But before we get to that, Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action at Bet Online. Get all the latest news, odds, and info for all your sporting needs, including the MLB, the NBA, the NHL, and all your UFC and MMA fight night action. Before the next pitch, head over to Bet Online on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore, as this is your chance to get into the game as teams prep for their runs to the playoffs. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today using the promo code LOCKEDON and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's promo code LOCKEDON at Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Hey, you might be heading to the lake or the water park or somewhere to stay cool this summer. Make sure your car is up to the challenge to not only get you there, but keep you cool while doing it. And no better place to go than Rock Auto. RockAuto.com will save you time and money. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. I had to move last summer, and I had to go through the box stores. I had to go to so many different box stores to find the different pieces that would fit my car, to get the hitch, to get the trailer, to get the thing, to go here, to go there, to do this, to do that. Save yourself the time, save yourself the money, save yourself the hassle, and go to rockauto.com. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck, right locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Let's wrap up the show. By wrap up the show, I mean do our final segment of the show, talking Ryan McMahon and his All-Star game potential. If there was a Rocky that was deserving of an All-Star, Ryan McMahon would make the case. Not of late, however. Ryan McMahon has struggled as of late. He's also been hurt a little bit. Not hurt as much as sore, that they are a little bit worried about. But he is currently rocking a 256 average and an OPS of 816, a 2.8 WAR, very high for the Rockies. He's been a key component of the Rockies this year. He's bringing in 44 RBIs with 16 home runs. For Rockies representatives, it doesn't really get much better than Ryan McMahon. He is someone I think deserves to be on the bigger scale. He's demonstrated that he is a wonderful baseball player that swings a really, really good bat. He also has the ability to play defense at multiple positions very, very well. I think Ryan McMahon is a cornerstone of the future of this team. I think the Rockies want to invest around him because he's younger, and but we shall see. It will only be a couple more years still. I think maybe only one until arbitration and things like that. But Ryan McMahon is the key piece to the Rockies, is one of the key pieces, and has been great all year long, except for as of late, honestly, like I said. But maybe that forearm tightness or that tightness, that soreness that he's been feeling. I keep saying tightness. I got to remember that it is soreness because he's not placed on anything. He's just let out of the lineup. He was not placed on anything like that. He's tied for 14th in the league in home runs, 28th in RBIs, and those are solid numbers. I mean, especially for a Rockies team that hasn't hit as many home runs as you might think. Ryan McMahon has shown that he can hit the long ball and do it on defense. I voted for Ryan McMahon. I will vote for Ryan McMahon again. And if you want to learn more about some Rockies that we think deserve to be All-Stars, we talked about Raimel Tapia on yesterday's episode, so you can check out that Locked On Rockies on your favorite streaming service. All right, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Locked On Rockies podcast. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Reminder, if you were curious what we talked about today, we got a little bit of All-Star game coverage. Is Ryan McMahon an All-Star, who I want to see in the Home Run Derby, and we talked about the Seattle series and how fun it was to be back at the ballpark and how great the starting pitching was in the series. But we got tons more Rockies stuff coming your way every day here on the Locked On Rockies podcast. You can follow along on your favorite streaming service or on Twitter at LO-Rockies. Also, if you want to stay up to date on all things sports, check out the Locked On Today podcast. Today on the Locked On Today podcast, the Atlanta Hawks continue to roll in the playoffs. Get more of the sports news you need in less time with the Locked On Today podcast. Follow the Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. Rockies are off tonight, heading to Milwaukee for a weekend series. Will they win on the road? It's the question we ask every time here on the Locked On Rockies podcast when they hit the road, but we'll follow along. We'll keep you up to date. We'll have no more for you right here on the Locked On Rockies podcast. So until next time, I don't want to lose your love, Rockies fans.